Well, good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful day in February down in Naples, Florida. We're here at Den's Southern Garage, not where I have all my tools, but enough to get this job done. Today's job is our beautiful 2017 Armada. Has a warning light on the dash for low washer fluid. It's been putting up with it for several months. Knowing that it's full, I just had to take the time to order the part, go pick it up. The part in question is a sensor right here. We'll unbag it later. And there's the part number. It's a sensor assembly for the washer fluid to get the annoying warning light off the dash every time we drive the car. To begin with, we have to remove the tire, which is basically one of the heaviest tires going, I'll tell you, with six lugs. Anyway, have it up on the hydraulic jack and have a jack stand as extra support just in case the hydraulics fail. We're going to start by removing all these bolts to get this inner liner out, and I will be back. Okay, so let me give everyone an update of where we're at. Thank goodness for the old piece of carpet I had laying around to lay on. So to get the liner pulled back to access the tank, you need to remove T15's Torx screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 T15 Torx screws. Then you need to remove 10 millimeter nuts that are in the bottom under here and on a flap, 1, 2, 3 there. And then you finally need to remove the push pins that hold in the liner. And they go through all these little holes in the liner, such as that one right there. And there's one that's particularly a pain, which is underneath, right in here, in the very bottom. It goes through there. Once you get all those push pins removed, you can release the tension on the trim ring on the fender, and then you could gently pull this out. And by the way, you're going to do these with a little flat-bladed screwdriver is what I like to use, and gently pry them out without breaking them unless you happen to have a supply. All my spare parts like this are in my PA garage where my lift is down here in Florida. I have very limited supply, so you don't really want to break these things. You want to try to keep them intact. Once you get them all out, you have your little pile. Keep them organized. Here's a flat blade I use to take them out. You could also use a pick if that's what you like to use. Either one. And then you'll see way up in here behind the fender, it's literally right against the fender wall, right here underneath the trim. So let me see if I can get this in here to show you. So we've got to get that tank out. Looks like there's a couple more 10 millimeters bolts in there I have to take out. And you also need something to catch the reservoir fluid when you take your hose off. This is the pump right here. You take that hose off, drain your reservoir, and then you'll be able to take out those 10 millimeter bolts and remove the tank and get to the sensor, which I've taken out of the bag already. This is the sensor, electrical power. You can hear it pops around, and then of course you have to be very careful when you put it in not to cut this O-ring, and that I would definitely put a little white lith around the edges of it or oil and gently put it in with a pick. So we'll go over that later. Back again, thought I'd share a little method here for draining. Got a little bucket, a couple of brick pavers, raising it in the air to capture because it's coming out of both places. I took both hoses off. Takes a while to drain. It's a pretty huge container. And don't forget to open the lid up here to let the air in, and also you have to take out that pin right there because this whole thing's going to be coming through the fender well. Okay, I've been spending the last 5 minutes or so working on getting this thing out. The rubber is so dried out and crusty that you cannot slide it past the neck of the filler. We don't want to crack this thing. So I decided to cut halfway around and make myself a little pull tab, sort of like a soda can. And once I did that, I was able to work in my right angle pick through the electronic connector and just pry it out and get it out that way. So this is what you got when you're done. You could see it's kind of like coming apart, but that's okay. The rest of it will come right out. If the dealer has a better idea, I'd like to hear from it, but if the rubber had been soft enough, we could have pried it out, but it wasn't. It was just dried out. It is 8 years old. So there we go, all installed. The next challenge is, though, really getting that in. The rubber grommet is extremely tight, even on the new one. I decided the best way to do it was to put the grommet in the reservoir first and then oil it up with some motor oil and put some motor oil around there as well, and then push it in. When you get to the end, it's super hard. You don't want to crack the reservoir. So I basically put it on the floor, rested it on a piece of carpet like such, and used a block of wood to just wiggle it down and push it in. It's much, much harder than you might think. Try not to break the pump off. I know the pump grommet's probably the exact same thing. Otherwise, I would have removed it and taken it out of the way. So, in any event, it's all in. Hopefully it works. And I didn't get a defective unit. Hello, everybody. So just to recap what we did today, we were able to successfully install the replacement sensor for the windshield washer fluid level. It was a lot longer than we thought. What we thought would be a 1 hour job turned out to be a 2 hour job. But just take your time. A lot of plastic parts that can easily be broken. We don't want to add expense to the job. When it's all said and done, everything worked out fine. Remind everybody, don't forget to wear your safety glasses. Don't forget to torque your wheel when you put it back on. The torque spec on the wheel is 98 foot-pounds. That's cold. Don't retorque it when it's hot. And good luck with your project.